Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Kaboom. Pew pew pew. I died. Shout out to Summer. Here's your review. Hey everybody, so what do you think of some of my new posters? I got Deadpool over here and some Minions that are stupid. Some Batman v Superman. Got some Spectre posters when we went to our new movie theater here opened up. So we've been watching some cheap movies for a couple of days, and they had those there. Today we're going to be talking about Gamer. It's a movie with Gerard Butler, Michael C. Hall, Ludacris, and a short thing with John Leguizamo. I always like John Leguizamo. I don't know why. I just like him. So whenever I see him in a movie, I'm like, hee hee, John Leguizamo. It was written and directed by Mark Neveldin and Brian Tyler. So there's, it's a sci-fi action movie, so there's a few things that you've got to accept that logically can't happen. You have to suspend belief. It is a stylized film. It reminded me a lot of the way Dark City and Blade Runner looked. The directing was, chaotic. There's a lot of shaky cam. Shaky cam is really annoying to me, but they didn't overly use it. And it was, I guess, it matched up with the tone of the movie. And the rest of the directing. So I understand why they did it. And they had things that made it look like it was on a monitor and the screen was jumping, which is, I guess, just a style. It really had nothing to do with the story. But I'm biased against shaky cam. I can't stand it. It's distracting. It's a cheap way of doing a fight scene. Usually if you see shaky cam on a fight scene, it's because the actors can't fight. And so they do quick edits and close-ups and shaky cam, so you get the idea that a fight's going on, but you can't see the fight. I hate that. Get people that can do it. Pull the camera back. Like the Jackie Chan movies, or some of the Hong Kong movies. The Firstborn Identity had better. They pulled back more. The rest of them were that shaky cam, quick edits, and I didn't like that. The movies were good, but I can't stand that kind of fight scene, because then I'm like, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden now the good guy won and the bad guy's dead. I don't know how that happened. It was just a lot of blurs and then he's dead. So to me it's cheap and I hate it. This one didn't use it too much. It used it a lot in the action sequences, but you still knew what was going on. The camera was pulled back. It was just kind of shaking. It wasn't the close-up quick edits. But I could do a whole other video on shaky cam. I'm not gonna get into it anymore. I could rant for a while on that one. Gerard Butler plays Cable. He was convicted of murder and went to death row. There's a twist in there, but I'm not gonna talk about it. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. You can also watch the trailer. I put it in the description down below, give you an idea what the movie's like. But he's in prison, and he does this game called Slayers, and it's if you beat 30 games, then you get released. You get your freedom. Now, in reality, of course, that's not going to happen. It's a lot like, same story plot line as Running Man or Death Race. A lot of those movies, because they do this dangerous stuff where they have to kill people and survive to be able to get out of prison. No one's going to give a criminal or a murderer a chance to get out of prison. So Cable is controlled by a 17-year-old gamer. And the idea is you get to play like a Black Ops or a first-person shooter with real people. So they replaced a lot of their brain cells with this stuff that sends out a IP address, and someone else can control your body and what you're doing. The kid is playing Gerard Butler. Well, he can't do anything about his moves. The kid does it. but he can usually like talk, or has some small things that he can do. Then they have another game, Society, and Society is like The Sims or Second Life, where you're just controlling people doing socializing stuff. Most of it's sexual, of course, because that's what everybody does on the internet. If they can get a control of a character, they're going to be having sex. Now, I can see how Society would be a real-life playable game, because it kind of goes along with the whole S&M, power control. I'm sure there's people that would like to be controlled, and there's people that would like to control, so it's a game that could happen, or is plausible to happen. At least plausible to happen. Then there's a group called Humans, with a Z, and they're basically anonymous. The hacker group Anonymous, doing all the social stuff, and then they hack everything, and Ludacris plays the face of Humans, which I think he probably got that role because of Fast and the Furious. It's almost the same character. He's a hacker. The Terry Crews was in it as this crazy murderer, which was very weird to me because he's such a nice guy. He's a really nice guy and funny. It's weird to see him all angry and psychotic and killing people and enjoying it. But I like Terry Crews, so I'll, as long as he's in it, I'm good. And he sings the No Strings on Me because he doesn't have a controller. He gets to control himself, which makes him more dangerous because there's this thing called ping, which is the time between the kid giving the order and Gerard Butler getting the order. So that split second time period Terry Crews doesn't have, so it makes him really dangerous. And they put him in there to try and kill Gerard Butler because they don't want him to win all 30 battles. But I liked it reminded me of Age of Ultron, where he's singing No Strings on Me, which is actually, the song from Pinocchio. So they took this cute Pinocchio song and they've been putting them in these movies with bad guys. So now Pinocchio's music is being used in all these movies for bad guys. But it fits, so. Michael C. Hall, Dexter, he's in it. He plays a very bad guy. Very bad guy. Kind of like Bill Gates if he was a psychopath. Bill Gates not a psychopath. But he's like really rich and powerful. But he is a psychopath. And he's got a scene in there where he's dancing, and he's snapping and doing this kind of jazzy song, like a Sinatra thing. And it was weird, but it fits his character. So I see why they're doing it. So there was one thing that really didn't annoy me, but kind of made me laugh. And there was a small scene between Gerard Butler and Ludacris where it's exposition that they explain how the brain adaptation was invented, why, and how it got bastardized. Now, it seemed really out of place. Like, why are they both telling each other something they already know? And it's for us. It's so that we know how all of that stuff happened. But it felt like an afterthought. Like they put that shot in after the movie because maybe the test crowds got confused and didn't understand something. So they did a shot after the movie was made and then just kind of threw it in there just to cover that instead of them having covered it in the beginning of the story on the original right. So I thought that was kind of funny from my perspective. I was watching that like, okay, why are you guys telling each other stuff you already know? And it's for us. But, it's not a bad thing. It's just poor writing. Just that little part. The rest of it I liked. There were some things that couldn't happen but were really good ideas, like he drinks a bunch of alcohol and then goes into the battle zone and finds a car and then throws up the alcohol into the gas tank and then pees in it, get as much of the alcohol in there as possible, and then starts the engine and drives away. It may start the engine, but he only had like a pint of alcohol. That's not going to run for very long. Especially not what they did in the movie. I mean, he was gunning it and flipping around and driving backwards and for like a good couple, 10 minutes. There's not enough alcohol in there for that to happen. But again, sci-fi action, it's just like fantasy. You gotta suspend belief and just accept the fun. And that's what I did. I'm just letting you know. Now, there's a lot of extreme detachment and lack of empathy amongst people towards other people, even in real life now, which is very plausible. I mean, that's something I could really see happening because that's happening online right now. People have no empathy. You got trolls. So I do believe that is a direction that we could go if we don't do something about that, or we don't recognize it before it happens. All in all, I like the movie. It's a good movie. I think there were some directing choices that were bad, but they weren't horrible. It's just not what I would have done, I guess. And a couple of things on the writing that could have been a lot better. But it was a fun movie. It's a popcorn movie. You sit down, you enjoy it. That's what it's made for. So I don't want to analyze it too much while I'm watching it. I just want to watch it and enjoy it for what it is. And I like Gerard Butler. He's in a lot of good action movies. Well, maybe not good action movies, but he's in a lot of action movies that are fun to watch. He's the I Am Sparta. Everybody knows that one from 300. Well, let me know if you like this video. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your cat. Subscribe, cat. Subscribe. All the normal stuff. And I will see you guys on the next video.